stupid Bill Burr. I used to handle this shit with kid gloves with some of these people. Don't upset the comic. They were good on your show 20 years ago. And somehow I feel this sense of loyalty. And even if they shit on me, I don't want to really turn around and shit on them. But some of them just fall right out of it over time. And I just get rid of that whole attitude. And Bill Burr, he's clown shoes. And a lot of people are becoming enlightened to this. There's something like almost by force of habit. If you listened to a comic and you found him very funny over the course of a few years, and then they fall off, I don't know what happens. Anything can happen. But they're not quite as funny anymore. You still have this weird loyalty toward how you used to feel about them. I think it happens with actors too, maybe even musicians. Just, you're like, oh, that guy, yeah, he used to be great. No, he's still funny. And you try and watch a special or listen and you go like, yeah, no, it's still funny. Well, a lot of people are being enlightened to the fact that Bill Burr is just his wokeism. And I know I'm trying to come up with another word than woke for this because woke is kind of played out. It could mean two different things now. It makes you seem like a hack when you're trying to talk about someone to call them woke. I get it. But it's really taken a toll on his comedy. As I recall, anyway, Bill used to goof on a lot of different things. Now, if he wants to goof on liberals to make it seem like he's being balanced, because he'll shit on Trump, he'll shit on Musk, he'll shit on conservatives, he'll shit on America, nationalism, being proud of your nation. And then he goes, but, I goof on liberals. And what'll he do? White women. He just goes after white women. He goes after white women like black. So he's got to do that. And then people goes, no, he goofs on liberals. No, he goofs on white people and white women, liberal white women. And we all hate them. So it's no big stretch. But for the most part, he's all about, the horrible, oppressive United States. And illegals are great people, and there's no problems in the black community. If you point them out, you're racist. Like all that, the usual bullshit. And then he goes on The View. I guess he's trying to pimp a new special, but he goes on The View, and everyone on X was just like, ugh. Bill sitting down and commiserating and just sitting there slobbering and agreeing with 70-year-old women going through menopause. Ugh. The white women, those are the ones you're talking about. Joy Behar, that's the white woman you're talking about. White liberal old douchebag lady. So he goes on The View, and it's just embarrassing. I'm sorry. I've listened to his Monday morning podcast, and he could have some funny moments on that. I haven't in quite some time, so I don't know what it is now. But, yeah, off the cuff, when he sits down with Conan, I've seen his clips where he sat with Conan O'Brien, and he comes out with stuff that Conan, buries his head in his hands, and it's funny. I get that. But I don't know how long ago all that shit was. And now he's so politically motivated, and he's got to walk in a minefield. Once you've done anything in the Star Wars franchise, you are now walking on in a minefield. To be careful what you talk about. Oh, yeah, they're going to fire Bill Burr for besmirching white women. I don't think that's a demo that they really care about if you make fun of or point out some of their flaws. I don't think Disney's going to give a shit. You start talking about the problem in the black community and maybe the fact that there's some illegal immigrants in this country that are doing terrible things that should be removed immediately. That would probably cause some problems with the upper echelon of Disney. But don't worry, you'll never hear Bill talk about that. So he'll be just fine. So instead of doing shows where that might come up, he goes on The View and talks to a few barren wombs and a few barren skulls as far as politics and knowledge about world history and pretty much everything goes. So here's Bill on The View. Let's hear his hot take on things.
I don't know. It's a weird time, but I just feel like someone needs to bring the boiling water down to a simmer, and everybody on both sides. Like if you watch CNN, Fox, you go online, or you listen to politicians, it's all, and then you walk out on the street, and someone's like, hey, how you doing? You're like, good. So I don't think they're living in like a reality.
For a minute. I've heard this take by a few comics already. Yeah, you know, I think Bill Hicks was the first one I heard talk about it. You know, robbery, rape, murder, war. He goes, I look out the window. It's like, birds are tweeting. Yeah, I've heard other comics talk about this. Here's why, Bill. When you walk outside and people go, hey, how you doing? What's that? Because you moved to a place that isn't a shithole. You moved to a place because you don't want to live around people where if you did walk out, there'd be a problem. You don't live near there. None of these celebrities that want to talk about, oh, the world's in a terrible shape and the politicians and the people say how horrible it is and there's problems. You're making a shitload of money, so you don't really have to worry about the price of things. It's not like a regular consumer that walks into a store and gets shell-shocked by the price of things. And you walk out on the street, yeah, you probably live in a great expensive place in a great expensive neighborhood where you're not going to get thugs standing on the corner waiting to break your car window and do a smash and grab. So yeah, it probably is nice when you walk outside, Bill, and the other ladies of The View who are in the same camp. They don't have to live near undesirable people and in undesirable towns. Yeah. So again, I've heard this so many times. Well, there are problems elsewhere, Bill. He doesn't have club soda. Some people don't have club soda Kenny to take them in and out of where they're working that night or day. They have to worry about where they park their car and if it's going to be vandalized or broken into, or if they're going to have a gun or a knife shoved into their gut and be robbed. They don't have to worry about that. They don't have a big mook ex-cop chasing radio personalities out of bars, out of comedy clubs. So yeah, it must be nice, Bill. But then you can't just talk about how the news depicts everything and politicians talk about how awful and crazy everything is. And then you just go, and I go outside and it's nice. Yeah. Count your blessings, douchebag. Let's watch more.
Is there anybody getting your ire up these days more than usual?
Nerds.
Yeah.
The nerds that own the politician. All these tech nerds that want to build robots because they don't know how to talk to hot women they're gonna take over the world. They're going to take over. They are literally going to replace us. We're like beta right now, and they're coming out with like the VCR. And I think Elon has got the rockets going because they realize there's other Earths out there, and they're going to trash this one, and because they don't have any concern for it, and they're going to move on to the next Earth. And, you know, everybody's going to be standing down here with your blue and red ties going, wait a minute, I was on your side. And they're just going to leave.
But you were talking about death in your set. Do they not realize that they're going to die, these people? They don't realize that eventually everybody dies.
I always wondered that about all religions, where they always talk about a wrathful God and, you know, will send you to hell. And it's like, none of you guys are operating like you fear this, the way you run your religion.
That's right.
So I don't get any, I don't understand any of that. I'm just trying to be like chill. Somebody holds the door. Hey, thank you. I don't know if it's...
Yeah. Are you? Ugh. None of these people. Really? How about a bill? How about that? How about a lot of religions don't think of is kosher? And, that might be a mortal sin. And none of these people are acting like they're afraid. Yeah, Elon Musk giving technology to people, the exploration of space, the potential of perhaps having another place to go as humans. Oh, yeah, they'll just trash this planet. Yeah, Bill Burr, trashing the planet, man. That old gag. Who's trashing the planet? Why don't you talk about India? How India is trashing the planet, and Africa, and China. All these countries where they don't even have a single clean river. The Hudson River was uninhabitable from any form of life for a time during the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. The industry in New York, where they just were like, we'll pour it into the river. It'll make it to the ocean. The ocean's big. And the Hudson became uninhabitable. And some wise people that were in charge decided to clean it up. Not saying you have to get rid of industry. You just have to do things a little differently. And they did. And the Hudson is one of the cleanest waterways in the country. People fish in the Hudson now. So it's not, we're destroying. Who? Americans? The evil, oppressive Americans? Yeah, that's what he can say. Elon Musk, he's the one ruining it. The oligarch. Why do I sound like that guy? Babe. Who is that? The oligarchs, babe. I'm almost sounding like a different comic.
Pauly Shore?
No. It was, who is the guy that used to, Richard Belzer. Richard Belzer, babe. Yeah. Coming out of India. And maybe something should be done there. Uh-oh. Did you hear? Oh, Bill. It's a call. It's from Star Wars. Star Wars is on the phone. They're pissed off that you said bad shit about India. Yeah, go do that. Shut up, guy. They're rockets. The nerds. Because they can't get good-looking women. Look at the 14 women. Maybe not 14 women, but Elon's had 14 kids with various women. All of them are at least average. Most of them have been lookers, pretty good-looking women. Nerds that can't, get chicks. I'm not even going to get into it, but really, Bill, you want to go down that road? Because truth be told, the nerds. He's using that old trope. Oh, nerds can't get girls. Probably had some tough times back in high school, but these days, Bezos spent a lot of time in his garage coming up with Amazon. Elon, obviously. Some of the early guys, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, all these nerds. They didn't have a hard time getting women after they got a shitload of money and power. That's how that happens. And they're not shitting on everyone. Really, Bill, that's who you're worried about now? That's who you have an issue with? The nerds? Ugh. Who are doing amazing things. Every bit of technology you use is because of those nerds. You think a meathead is coming up with self-driving cars? It's hacky. I never would have thought I would have called Bill's material hacky, but he gets on The View and he's got to water down everything he does and play to these old hens, get their approval. Well, I hope you got it, and I hope that works for you, Bill.